And now we're joined by a former Australian police officer, Vince Carus. Vince, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Vince, I'm well. Are you speaking to me from Australia?
Yes, I am. I live about 5 kilometres from Bondi Beach.
Okay. In many ways, the police operation this evening in Australia has been impressive. People will be asking questions there about how this could possibly have happened. We've been hearing about the rising tide of anti-Jewish activity, including violence and attacks. And yet here was a very large and very well publicised gathering of Australian Jewish people, and they have been attacked. Does that raise a question mark in your mind?
It was something that was always on the boil as far as I'm concerned, because we've had experiences in the past with anti-Semitism, something that we are not used to here in Australia, I might say. This has been really something that's eventuated since the October 17 massacre in Israel. And it's gradually been growing and growing and growing. The authorities have done a magnificent job in curtailing what could have been a worst case scenario at Bondi, and the bravery of one civilian in disarming one of the offenders is beyond reproach. He is a magnificent human being for doing what he did. He would have saved many, many lives as a result. But the police have a big task ahead. The big task is gathering the intelligence they need to pursue not just the offenders they have in custody, but the future ones. They need to re-examine all their intelligence files now and have a look at maybe regrading some of the threats that may have been put aside as maybe along the lines of, this guy does not present as a threat, well, maybe he does now. And these are the things that they need to re-evaluate as they go along the journey of investigating and formulating future plans to safeguard the Jewish community, but not just the Jewish community. May I add, we are a very integrated society here in Australia. We have many, many people from many, many races, from many religions who live in peace. And this, as I say, has only been a recent phenomena for us, in the sense that since those October 17 massacre, this revelation that's come into our society here in Australia, and we're so far away from everyone, has been totally disruptive. It needs to be addressed, and it will be addressed. Eventually, it will be addressed properly by the authorities. We have a very good commissioner, a New South Wales Police Commissioner, who's only been in the job less than 3 months. And he has the experience, the intelligence and the drive to make sure the police are on top of this whole situation.
2 officers are amongst the injured, and all the injuries of all the people are described as serious, although there's a variety of severity in their injuries. Would you like to say a word about those Australian police officers who've taken a bullet today?
Well, those Australian police officers who've taken a bullet know that every time they put a uniform on, they're a target. Every time you walk down the street, you are a target. And at the end of the day, it's something that stays at the back of your mind. And unfortunately for him, those 2 police officers, they have been injured. But hopefully they'll come out of that well and truly reinvigorated and back to normal duties. I'm praying for them. I know that one of them is pretty serious, and I'm sure that the New South Wales Police will do their very best to ensure that he pulls through. The other thing I want to say too is that despite what's happened today, there are many, many good people in the Jewish community who will make sure that this does not ensure that this does not somehow cause rage amongst other groups of people. I know the feeling I had when I first saw these reports coming through, and I just hope that it doesn't escalate. And that's the problem the police are going to have, trying to stop any escalation of what's happened. This is a terrible tragedy, a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, I think we heard similar sentiments from the Police Commissioner and indeed from the Premier of New South Wales. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Vince Carus, from close by the scene of the massacre at Bondi Beach. He is a former Australian police officer. My panel is still with me. the former Conservative advisor, Jennifer